Hey, hi. Hey guys, today we are going to talk about why your website should ditch the book a call button and the power of a low risk offer. I'm talking mostly about service based businesses, but it can also work for product based businesses. In fact, you see it all the time in the little pop up that comes up to get a 10% discount or spin the wheel for a discount or whatever, right? So, what they're doing is they are capturing the email address of that shopper so that they, even if that person bounces and leaves, they can get the email address and start marketing to them via email. So, as you may or may not know, email marketing is still a thing. It is still very viable, and you can still make 30 to $40 in return on every dollar you spend growing your list. So it is a worthwhile process. And if you really want to maximize your efforts, then email marketing is key. And I can't tell you how many businesses I work with that don't have an email list at all. Like they don't have email subscribers at all. And that is one of the easiest things that you can fix on your website, right? And so let's talk about why you want to ditch that book a call button or the book a call right above the fold on your homepage, okay? Because that's really what we're talking about is your homepage. Because let's face it, if somebody finds your blog post or somebody finds something on your website, a different page on your website or whatever, most people will go to your homepage to check you out and see who you are, right? And so that you want to optimize that particular area above the fold so that people will opt in to your email list. So let's think about that customer journey and how that goes. As I just talked about, they might come to your blog post or they might come to you from social media and check out your website, right? And so they end up on your homepage. If you look at the stats of your website, you'll probably see that your homepage gets the most traffic. And that traffic is usually coming from another source, something on your website, and then they're clicking over to your homepage to check you out, right? And so that's what you want to do is you want to be there for them with an invitation of a low risk offer to get on your email list. And so usually that takes the place of a lead magnet, right? And the lead magnet for like product sales could be something like a discount, get a discount on your first purchase or get free shipping, on your first purchase or get a special gift, just sign up, right? But for service-based businesses, you have to be a little bit more clever to get them on your website because a discount isn't necessarily going to help, right? And discounting isn't always the best thing to do for a service that you're providing, unless it's a something repeatable that you're going to get every single month that's like a consumable, similar to how product sales are. It's a consumable where people are going to keep coming back, right? Same type of thing. So if you have a monthly membership or something like that, it's perfectly okay to give a discount possibly on the first month or something like that. But for your regular services and things, you don't necessarily want to do that because you don't know what services they're necessarily going to ask for, right? So if you are, like in the service industry with a brick and mortar business such as a medical spa or an attorney or a wealth planner or a financial planner or something like that, you may be you need to find out what the specs are and what the statement of work is or what they want, right, before you make a quote. And so having that little discount code isn't necessarily going to do that, especially when you start getting into high ticket sales. And so that part of that customer journey is that people are, going out to the internet, either social media or the internet, and part of that depends on the age of the person and how savvy they are on social media and what social media platform they're using, because not all of them are created equal in terms of search engine ability to find things like that. And so if let's just skip the social media, because you may be at a stage where you're not really doing much social media. Many of my clients are not, and that's one of the things that I help them do, is to beef up their social media in a way that, for introverts and avoiders basically, so in a way that doesn't make you uncomfortable, make you feel you know bad or anything. We don't want to do that, right? What we're trying to do is build you up in the early days of your business and build your skills so that you can eventually get on video and be more comfortable with video. But diving right in a Facebook group is a great way for you to get comfortable on video. However, if you're not, that's one of the things that we want to do, is get you more comfortable on social. So let's say they find you on social somehow, they end up on your website. So that's one way they're going to get to you. Another way is they're just going to do a Google search, right? A keyword search, a long tail keyword search. How do I blah, 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 right? Or whatever the type of business it is. And so now they're doing research, right? So let's think about that process. They get a list of results from Google, and then they start clicking into the websites that are there that they think are appropriate. They click in, they look for a second, and then they're gone to look at the next one, and then they're gone to look at the next one. So if you have a call button, a call us button, or a book an appointment button, they're still in the research phase, right? And so they may not be ready to book a call and be sold to right now. They want to still, they're gathering information, right? So if you come in with a lead magnet that's going to help them gather the information that they need, it could be anything, right? It could be 10 questions you should ask your service provider for X, Y, and Z, or, or something that hits a direct pain point that they're having and provides a solution for them. Both of those are very powerful and work very well. And so we could get into that, but I don't want to get off track because that's for a whole nother training on what type of lead magnet will work best. But if you are the one that's got the lead magnet that says, hey, do you want to know more about, medical spa or Botox or this makeup line or the coaching I provide or whatever, right? Or life coaching in general, then click this and, I'll send you this guide that will help you make the buying decision. Or I will send you this guide that will give you 5 tips to get relief now, right? And then that way you get them on your email list, and then they might click away and go on to another place and all that. But now you're in their inbox. And so now they leave their search. Maybe they're going to do something for another day. They haven't made a decision yet. And now you're in their inbox and you're showing up and you're emailing them and they're seeing emails from you and they're learning more about you every single time you send an email. They're getting to know you and they're getting to like you. They're getting to trust you. All of those things that they wouldn't have been able to do had you just had a book a call button, because they wouldn't have called, right? They wouldn't have called. They wouldn't have booked an appointment. They wouldn't have done any of that because they're in the research stage. So when you can capture them at that phase of their journey, that's where the gold is, right? And then you have an amazing follow-up process where you're following through and you're providing information and the things that they need to make a buying decision. You are going to be so much happier with your website performance. You're going to get a lot more leads from it. You're going to have more qualified leads because of the way you target that lead magnet or position that lead magnet will help you with your positioning in the market, right? And we talked last week about that brand positioning and how important it is to get that brand positioning right, and it's really in the secret sauce. If you're providing the same services as 50,000 other people on the internet, like life coaching, for example, and business coaching, all that stuff is pretty saturated, right? It's pretty saturated, and there's a lot of people, so you have to stand out. And a lot of what's going to help you stand out is just simply your personality. If people can relate to you, if they feel comfortable with you, if they feel that like they could be vulnerable with you. But let's say you're a life coach and you're like, immediately book a call right now. Now, I could see how if somebody's in the buy now stage, that might work. They're at the most vulnerable moment and they reach out, right? But in general, people who are vulnerable are not necessarily going to reach out at that time. They're going to stay kind of hidden and stay in the background. And so by providing them something that they can grab onto right now that could give them some relief and help them make the next buying decision and become aware that there's a solution for them, right? Because remember what we talked about last week was that they may not even be solution aware, right? They may not even be problem aware. They are symptom aware right now, and they feel all these symptoms and they hate that. And maybe somebody said, oh, you might want to look into life coaching, that might be an option for you. And so then they're like, wow, what's this life coaching thing? The thing is that when we get all involved in the internet with our own businesses, we realize how big of an industry life coaching is, or just information coaching is. In the industry, or on the internet. But for a regular person who's not a business owner, they may not even realize how big of an industry it is, right? And so it might be their first experience with a life coach, and you want to be able to capture that moment, right? And be able to be there for them so that they can engage with you in a very non they understand that it's more than Botox and lip fillers. Or you can start educating them and try to court the newer people, right? People are getting older. You're never going to run out of a client base, right? Because as people age, they're going to start looking towards things like that to help them. And so I happen to work with medical spas, and I love working with medical spas because I think that it's just such a growing industry, and there's so much there's so much room. It's like the wave is just starting. So if you're getting into this wave, then you're on that wave and you can ride that wave for a long, long time. And the more popular it gets and more saturated it gets, then it's going to be, you're going to have more competition. So right now is a great time for you. And you might even see in your own town. I mean, I live in a smallish town, and I think there's 4 medical spas in my small town. So, but I am near California, and so we get the trends from California a lot, and on the East Coast they get the trends from New York and stuff like that, right? And then it kind of creeps across the country. So, especially if you're in the Midwest somewhere, that might be something that you can be looking at. Like, how many spas do you have, and how do you stand out, and how do you make sure that people can get on your email list easily so that you can market to them? Because I'm telling you right now, I mean, I've never done medical spa stuff at all, and I wouldn't even know where to begin. And that's why when I work with medical spas, I talk to them a lot about catering to the new person, because that new person is going to have that lifetime value of that customer, right? That's long. And then people who are already familiar, if they're not working with you already, they're working with somebody if they already do it. And so now you're either taking clients from another provider, right, or you're nurturing your own clients. And so that's kind of what we like to do, is help people stand out and find their own crowd, right? Create their own tribe, or community, right? Community. I guess we don't say tribe anymore. I don't know what the word is today. I guess it's community. But you can see how that makes a difference. And so by having that lead magnet on your homepage is going to really set you apart but you've got to have that compelling language, and you've got to be calling out them specifically, because otherwise, yeah, you might get calls, but then how many of them are just inquiries? Well, how much does it cost? You know, what is it? How much does it cost? Blah, blah, blah. And you can book a consultation, certainly, but as soon as they find out the cost, they might be like, especially if, like, for an attorney, if you're a high ticket attorney or something like that, um, you may have that. So you need to position yourself so that people can self-identify, and then self-identify them either in or out of your community, so that you have a more targeted list, and they're warmer, and they're more ready to buy, and they're more able to buy. And that's when you, with your follow-up sequence and all of that stuff that you have, that you put in place, remember, we're creating a business engine, right? And that business engine is like a blueprint for it's like a pipeline, right? And I like it as a blueprint because it's a blueprint of different functional areas: social media, your website, your podcast, your all that stuff on the front end, right? And then you have, once they become subscribers, you have a functional area in the background, an email system, an email campaign, and something driving people to take action, right? People, inspiring them to take action. And then you may have conversion events. So that's kind of the idea, right? Is you grow your list, you nurture that list, you convert that list. And when you are converting, you're converting all the time. Like, you're pulling off the ones who are ready to buy now, and then you're nurturing the ones who are not quite ready to buy, and then the ones who really, are not even problem aware, you're teaching them why their symptoms are creating these problems. And so that's part of your nurturing thing, right? So that is the idea with your website. And when you just have a call button, or book a consultation or whatever, people don't want to waste your time, right? And so they're not going to necessarily do that when they're not ready to purchase, because they don't want to waste your time. They don't want to be sold to when they're not ready. And so by doing a lead magnet, you are actually assisting them to get into your world, and then now you have them to sell to. And if you have good content, and you take care of your list, and you nurture them, and you communicate well with them, most people will not unsubscribe. You might get a few unsubscribes, but if you take a communication approach, instead of just sell, 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 you're communicating what you're doing and the activity you're doing, then you won't get those unsubscribes. So don't be afraid to email your list. In fact, if you haven't emailed them in a while, get on there and email them today. Email them today, say hello, tell them, that you're here, and give them some tip or trick or inspiration or something that they can do. Invite them to your Facebook group, invite them to your Instagram, invite them to book a call, invite them for anything, right? That's the way you communicate with them. And when you're communicating and doing more of that and less selling, that's when you can people get their business engine going, right? With social media, with their website, with their email marketing plan, and the events and all that stuff, and get everything in, and then their products and services, making sure that they have, appropriate selling points and offers for their audience, and then helping them create a structure so that they have multiple revenue streams over time. Over time, you got to start somewhere with one revenue stream, but then over time you start adding different revenue streams, so you're not dependent on just one form of revenue, right? If you just do high ticket clients, then you're going to be forever hustling for that client, and you're not going to have as much freedom as if you have some passive income streams as well as the high ticket stuff, right? Then you're going to have multiple. And so for those people who aren't ready to buy, you might be able to sell them little things, right? Little things. In fact, one of the gurus I follow, she she started, for years she did one lead magnet a month. And so I actually did that. I did one lead magnet a month for I still do one lead magnet a month. It's part of my whole campaign strategy, right? But I don't always create new lead magnets. Now it's repurposing, reusing my lead magnets. My lead magnets are growing up into courses and things like that. And that's what she's doing now is she's starting to create really low ticket things like $5, $7, $10, stuff like that. And they used to be lead magnets, but now there are these little $5 things that she's just enhanced, slightly, but keeps them really low priced, right? Well, she has a list of 10 or 15,000 people, right? So if you think of the math, you start looking at the math and you think a 2% conversion rate, she's making some good money off that $5 item, right? So what are her priorities? Keeping things accessible for all income levels and growing her list consistently, right? Those would be those huge priorities. And so what does she do? That website has to have that way for them to get on the list, right? And on social media, you have a way you drive people to your website, you drive people to your Facebook group where you collect their email, but that email is, really what you're exchanging for that piece of information, right? And so that is kind of what I teach, and I'm teaching that whole entire business engine. And in my new masterclass, or my masterclass that's coming up at the end of the month, it's called Business Engine Optimization. It's the 5-step profit acceleration formula, and I'm going to go over some of the sub things in terms of growing your leads, partnering so that you can get more leads, like JV partnerships and an email drip campaign, and some of the core elements that you need to continually grow your list and keep your pipeline healthy, right? Keep your pipeline healthy. And so anyway, that is the last Wednesday of the month. I do it every last Wednesday of the month. So if you can make it to this one, you can go to CherylT.com/sign up. I am in the middle of rebranding. If you noticed, I am moving away from the scrumshop.com and I am moving into CherylTexera.com, but in the midst I had to do this CherylT.com for technical reasons. So long story, I won't even go there. But anyway, so here it is, and I even forgot to ask, if you are watching this live, please put #live in the comments, and if you are watching the replay, I appreciate a #replay. And if you have any questions or you want the link to the business engine optimization, again, if you can't find it here in the comments, because I know Facebook hides things sometimes and it's hard to see, then please just tag me in the comments and ask for the link, or DM me. I'm happy to help. So I hope that helps you understand kind of how you're going to get that business engine going and how your website plays such a big part in that. And I'll go dive into that even further in the masterclass so you can see that. But the thing about the business engine, and you might be thinking, well, this is a boss productivity group or a productivity pod. Why are you talking about this? I'm talking about this stuff because this is the stuff that helps you create like more of a maintenance and operations type of system for your business that's repeatable cycles that you can just do over and over and makes it easy for you to market. A lot of times we get caught up in our emotions, imposter syndrome, and all of those things that we do to ourselves, and then we flake out on our marketing. And it's really, really important for you to systematize your marketing so that you just do your job as marketer and get the job done, right? Get the tasks done that are there, get those things done, and help your clients as best you can in that process, right? Because that monthly campaign system that I help my clients create, it is really helping and nurturing clients, but it's also growing your list, growing interest, growing a fan base, and helping people start becoming problem aware, solution aware, and that sort of thing, right? And symptom aware, that knowing that the symptom is related to this problem, and then helping them overcome those things. All right, so I hope that has helped, and I hope that you enjoyed this, and I would sure appreciate some comments, and let me know what you think of this training, and understanding the difference between haphazard marketing and a business engine that's going to really save you time, save you energy, and be way more effective than haphazard random marketing. All right, I will see you guys in the comments. Thank you. Bye.